Okay, so it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it is so just another weird ass night. It was so weird too. Is I was like yesterday in the afternoon. Seems like I was just exhausted. It seems like I had been up since like 1:30 or something, and I was exhausted, and and it was cold out, and I would lay down and I would start to fall asleep, and then it was the same thing where she would interrupt me, and it's so weird. Like there's another force at work. The timing's too perfect every time. It's been going for so long. I mean, I don't know what all clearing you can do to get rid of some of this shit. And so that's just part of the spiritual harassment, I think. And so, anyways, I kept getting, jolted awake, jolted awake. And so then it was like, I don't know, she started getting tired, it seems like. It's always, she'll start to go to sleep. So I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go lay down and go to sleep. And she'll jump up. It's like, oh my fucking God. And then it was like, I don't know, so for some reason, like at 7, might have been 6:30. I'm like shutting the curtains and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go to sleep. And so it was like 7 or 7:30 or something. And I just couldn't even stay awake and lay down and fell asleep in like a second. But then it was like I keep being awake while I'm asleep, which I don't know how to explain it. But it's just this awareness and this talking all fucking night. And then there was different things that kept happening. Oh yeah, because one of the things was like at 9 o'clock, all of a sudden, I don't know, I was awake. No, maybe that was at midnight. I was awake at 9. Oh yeah, because I was awake like at 9, and then I thought, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to go back to sleep. I'm just laying there and laying there and laying there and just trying to find stuff to do. I couldn't believe it. She was sleeping. Now I don't even know how long that went on. That seemed like it went on forever. And then, and then it must have been like another time, and she woke up or something, but I was laying there and I heard all this noise that I had never heard before. So I was laying there like, what the fuck is that? And I think I looked at the windows to see if there was some weird lights outside or something. And it was real dark. And like, what in the world is that sound? So I keep sitting there trying to listen to it and see what it is. And then I was like, oh my God, I think that's rain. I've never heard it rain so hard like this. It's like a torrential downpour all of a sudden. So I look out the window and yeah, it was a torrential downpour. I couldn't believe. I was like, oh my gosh, so is this, they're gonna flood us in the middle of the night? Like, what the fuck? I can't believe how much. In the, yesterday there was even some times where the sun came out. And I was like, and always if the sun's out and it touches you, it always feels warm, and then or really hot. And then so I was like, well, I could put the cushions back on the couch. And I was like, no, it's gonna rain tonight. I already looked at the weather. It's gonna be a couple more days of rain, even on the times where it's dry. And it's, I mean, I don't even know when summer is. I guess school's just now getting out. Everything seems so weird. Like everything's so off. And Monday, I'm going to babysit for the little girls next door because she has to still work another day after school or something. Like 2 days after school lets out, the staff has to stay working. So, anyways, but everything seems so weird to me, so off, man. I had called to see about the price on my car, and she said she was working on it right then. She'd been off a couple days, but she's working on it, and she'll get back to me. And that was a couple days ago. I was like, man, I asked him to order the part, but I don't know. Maybe they haven't even ordered it because it's on back order. Like, I don't even know. Like, this whole thing is, everything is just so weird. And, and everything is like disjointed time. Like it's weird because sometimes I'll feel like, oh my God, this day is like dragging. And then like I got up and then it's like, okay, so it's 3. And then I'll go do something, look at the thing. It's 3:30. We go do something. It's like 4. It's like, what in the hell? Why is it some of the times it's going so fast and then other times just sitting there like, oh my gosh, is time even going? And I know that there's always the phenomena, if you're busy, time flies. And if you're not doing anything, time drags. So I have awareness of that. I'm not talking about that kind of thing. It's different. There's something different with time. And I don't know, because I had noticed weird stuff with time after my brain injury anyways, because I lost track of time. I couldn't feel it anymore. And so I had no concept of how much time had passed. And I have parts of that again, but I keep seeing different people talking about, some people are like, time is speeding up, and some people are like, time is slowing down, and all sorts of things. So that's what I'm saying. It's just, I think it's just disjointed for everybody because time isn't real. And I think it depends on what your grasp on time is, how real you make it. And there's like tricks to our birthdays and stuff on that. Like I'm so on the aging and all the lies and stuff. Especially, I just saw this one video, and it was these 2 women podcast ladies talking, and I think it was like a sales thing. They were trying to sell this supplement, but the conversation was women in joint pain, and that almost all women have joint pain. I'm always constantly complaining about the joint pain. Even this finger is still so swollen and has hard, well, anybody, if you get swollen joints, you know how hard it is to move them. And these weird pain things. And so I keep trying to figure out like where I can focus in my body's health to make it better. And I was hoping that the explants would do more for some of that kind of stuff, but those things have continued even after, because there's a lot of people who get their implants removed, and there's girls that are out there just right, that are really on the forefront of trying to push women to understand how toxic they are, and that it's not, because there are so many women who are like, well, I have saline, that's fine. And they're like, no, it's the plastic that's inside of you. Your body is rejecting it. So it's like your body is in an inflammation state because it's in this rejection of this thing. So that's how you be so sick. And so I kept thinking, well, probably with the joint pain will go away after that. But then I was still thinking, well, I still have that fucking long-term use of saccharin because I used Sweet and Low for so long. And I wasn't a big soda drinker. There was a certain times where I've had periods of time where I abused all different things, but I got a handle on it. And but mine was, I drank tea all the time, iced tea, because I grew up in the South. Iced tea was a big thing. So, and sweet tea, and I like sweet tea, but I use Sweet and Low. And so 2 or 3 packages of Sweet and Low and a glass of tea. And it was years I kept using it after my mom was telling me about the studies and reports coming out on it. And that's how that's why I don't judge people who just disconnect. Look, I can look back on so much of my own disconnect. It's me telling you something, it doesn't click in. You're just like, I don't even know. like at the time I was probably thinking, well, I better risk that rather than be fat. Like, because if I drink this much sugar, I'm going to be a chunk. And but now it's so crazy because I drink so much honey. And I'm thinner. And I think, I was thinking about this yesterday, is the healing and weight and that letting go of things, which I just saw this video of this guy. I gotta share it. It's like, this is the attitude that will keep you stuck. This right here. I don't know, I can repeat it exactly. But he said, I'm not going to forgive you. That's for Jesus to do. I'm not going to, whatever it was. He was holding on to resentment, anger, and holding a grudge. And that's his fucking right. Yeah, you're right. I feel a little more connected to the spiritual side of things and see if that's really what you want to go in on. But everybody's here, I'm telling you, at all different levels. And so he's locked in on this, I'm going to hold a grudge and that's my right. And I'll kick your ass if you come around me. You fucked me over, that's it. And that attitude, that is what holds you. That's what binds you. You gotta let go of that stuff. You gotta let forgiveness. And it isn't about Jesus. And like, there is no absolution. There is still people. It's like a mix. I see people who get it. Like, God, Jesus can't take away, or he can't forgive you, or God can't forgive you and make all your stuff just disappear, evaporate. What's inside of you, you have to work through. You can't just, it doesn't just go away. God can't take away your pain. Like, what in the world, like, even kind of universe would that be? It would be like a weird reality like this one. You go do a bunch of fucked up shit and then just go to your master. Oh, here, I did some fucked up shit. Oh, it's okay. You're okay, forgiven. Go do some more fucked up shit. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? So, okay, let me think, because I'm already twisting around, because there was something else I was going to talk about a second ago. Let me think. Well, just go with the flow. That I saw, I haven't seen, like I've seen some stuff, like, one of the, like, 101 or something, there was a big washout on a big main road last week in California, and there kept being earthquakes, but I haven't been hearing about a bunch of stuff right now. And the people I see live, or see that I know live there, one of them lives in the mountains, and one lives down the city, and the one that lives down the city, she lives in a van, and she's like, it's unbearably hot. So whatever with their weather, because I swear to God, it was just raining there and being weird. So it just is like, there's no gradual thing. It's just this jumping, all this weather jumping around, goes from hot to cold to, and I don't even know what is supposed to be next here, because when I went and looked again now, it's like our temperatures are 71, 67, 70, 70. It's like, oh my God, when is it going to get warmer? And oh yeah, because I just saw this kid, and he was doing, so his mom, or somebody, wasn't his mom, some woman though, was filming him talking about his dreams. And so he said he's had, for one of them, he had the same dream 3 times in a week. And the other one, before he had that dream, the week before, he had these other 2. Both of them were the ending. And but there was some things that I thought, oh, this sounds like this could go down. And there was something that I think people need to think about. And so I'm telling you, the energy. Oh yeah, because it was about the healing and the frequency and the weight, and even with this trying to catch my breath thing, I feel like it's like a density or something too. Like, there is like this density. But let me think. Oh yeah, because it was something. Oh yeah, because it was something, and then I was shown something. It was weird. I was like walking, I was doing something, like me and Stella were doing our walk, and then I went over to the neighbors, and she was over there playing. So I came over to get some castor oil to put on this sore on this dog over there. And I think it was when I was going back through the gate, which gates are portals to everything. Is every opening, every flat surface, that is a portal. It's like an opportunity for something different. It's a different reality. It's a different, I don't know how to explain it, but anyways, so I all of a sudden I had this vision, something about me when I was a kid, and I could see that as I started, okay, so because a lot of people, they get stuck on like, well, as you get older, you just gain weight. And so what I was shown was that I gained weight. It was me. It was it is like is your ship, as your vessel takes on water. So it's when you start having issues and not dealing with them, is when you start gaining weight. That is what I was seeing and what I was shown, like in my own life. And the not dealing with certain things, it just like starts adding on more and adding on more. And then the way you approach it, like we approach it in the wrong way. Like we don't even go into it and start thinking like, what am I holding on to? We start thinking, oh, our body is failing us. Oh my God, I'm gaining weight. And we start trying to go into ways of lack, like poisoning ourselves with some chemical so we don't gain weight and stuff, because we think that it has to do with that. And the other thing too, where there is the compatible part of the eating and eating and eating and gaining and gaining and gaining, but there's more to it, because there still is this this overly consumption. It's like this taking in and taking in and taking in and not dealing with something. And so it becomes like habitual. And that is how people can just keep gaining weight and go into hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And it's like this development of this toxic cycle around food and not dealing with things. And so, and that is, at a certain point too, all of the people was start feeling shame in some way. And then they can take it as, well, that person always makes me feel bad, so it's that person. They make me feel shame. They make me feel guilty. I just gotta love myself. I gotta surround myself with more people like me so that I can love myself. But secretly down inside, everybody is mad at themselves, and they think they're mad at themselves over their weight, but they're mad at themselves over not dealing with things. They're mad at themselves over not feeling good about themselves, not trying to do their best or be their best. And then they're jacked up. They're caught up by not looking at it right. That's the thing that's going to be so trippy, is there's going to be so many people that are going to see things that they have not seen before. But it's going to be so overwhelming. And in this kid's dream, see, the thing about this, and this is like back in 2016 when we were all watching Allison Coe, and there was a lot of drama. Like everybody thinks that this is like a all drama right now. There was a lot of drama in 2016. I think it was. It could have been in 2017, but it was back when we all started talking about the solar flash in the spiritual community, and there was a lot of talk about it. And there was all sorts of hypnosis. Like that's why I said Allison Coe was sharing so many of those. And that is when things didn't happen the way she said it was going to happen on the dates or whatever, that all these people turned against her. And that's where she started not posting all the time. She posted all the time before. And anyways, there was a whole thing of all of us focusing on this solar flash was coming. And it's like documented in prophecy and stuff, so it's definitely going to happen. And we've got all this stuff going on. My stomach's growling. And I was almost started. I guess I did make some banana bread yesterday. I ate so much of it. I was gonna eat some more, but I was like, oh my God, it's 4 o'clock. I gotta stop with this eating in the middle of the night. And so the So the solar flash thing, the sky building stuff has continued. It wasn't like, it just went away. I didn't understand why so many people turned on her and stuff. I was like, people get way too caught up on dates and then think, oh, well, it's not going to happen. See, it didn't happen. It's not going to happen. It's like, you guys, what? Like, what? And then, I don't know. That's their disconnect. Just like when somebody was telling me that sweet and low is bad for me. And I'm just like, oh, okay. You think 12 packets a day is too much? uh, I'm on The Walking Dead, which I just saw this little cartoon video of modern people. It is The Walking Dead, man. It's just The Walking Dead. And so anyways, this kid's dream, he was saying it, and it matches a lot of other people's prophetic dreams. My stomach's so gross. My stomach's like, oh, I said I'm hungry. I'm in a battle with the parasites anyways. And I did think that the black seed oil, like I was doing the black seed oil and then still take the horse paste each day because I'm going to try and dry that stuff up and kill all the things in it. And it did seem like it was getting drier. But yeah, I live in such a moist place. I'm sure there's mold here. But anything like that is going to irritate an already messed up thing. I think when it originally started messing up is when they messed up my eyes. And then all their things, so it was never the approaching it in the right direction. I should have went natural back then, but everything they did caused more damage, which causes more inflammation and stuff. And then there's, in the injection, like, I don't even know, but definitely in the place that's real wet, and I have wood walls, and it's like, fuck, they could pull these wood walls off and the whole thing could be mold back there. I had an inspection done when I came in, before they put in this wood stove and this electric thing, whatever thing that probably gives you cancer, that and they didn't find any mold or anything. But then when my daughter was here, she's like mad inspector, and like around the windows, especially when it was wet. But we did put plastic over the windows out here. Like, I haven't noticed any mold anywhere, but I definitely would say around the windows. But it could be under the wood walls, fuck, I don't know. But whatever, it's supposed to be, is supposed to be. I just got to keep trying to figure out ways to approach it through natural. I don't want to use any of their stuff anymore. I just want to be natural. And you try and figure out what's wrong. And then in the process, when you're trying to figure out what's wrong, your body's in communication, always telling you things and trying to get you to pay attention to things. So, but it is a skill. It's a translation to start trying to understand how your body's speaking to you. Like a lot of people, you don't think like, oh, my back hurts because I let people walk all over me. And that's what my body's trying to tell me. And then they start cutting themselves up, taking drugs and all this stuff, instead of working on the thing that would really fix their back. Stop letting people walk all over you. Heal your wounds. Start standing up for yourself. Stand up straight. Believe in yourself. Like, there's all different things. So it's just a different way to approach, but it's a new translation of trying to understand what your body is trying to tell you. Mine's really trying to tell me it's hungry. So anyways, this kid's dream, sometimes, and I talked about this a long time ago, but I haven't talked about it in a while, but the effectiveness of moaning and groaning, besides the wailing while you're in pain, which I might have shared the video. This woman was talking about her son died, and she keeps crying, but she's like wailing. She said, I've never heard sounds come out of me like this. It's kind of scary, but that is wailing. Think back in like old movies and stuff, in a time of mourning, there would be this wailing, and that is a release of pent-up energy. But that kind of like when you sigh, like when you go through the day and you're just like, that lets out pent-up energy. If you just go, then you are holding something back. And that is where, where we can say, oh, well, I can't just sit and work and be like, everybody's going to look at me. Everybody's going to think I'm weird. And, and so you do stuff to be acceptable at work, but you're not really releasing the energy. But when you do moan and groan and whine and wail and stuff, when you actually let out a grunt, a groan, it really releases the energy. So just keep that in mind. I used to talk about that before. But so this kid, in his dream, so he's at his mom's or something, and they're in the garage doing something, and it's the sky thing. There's always these sky things that have happened in so many of these dreams. It's water or sky, which in the water there is something that has been found again now that is doesn't belong there. It's like a million years old or something. Some big freaking jellyfish or something. I'll share the video. But anyways, the water is already changing. There's stuff going down in the water. I mean, in there, you've got ships going in the water, their own ships. Like, there's a lot of stuff. And animals are trying to get out of the water. Like, there's a lot going on. And, which I think it's just all the frequency, all the new movement. It's like the merging of all these realities. Because think about it, like, everything has been here, but, it's what we're tuned into, what we're focused on. But then as we raise our vibration, and everything's raising its vibration, you think about in a radio station when you are turning the thing, how there's so much disruption in between the stations, and sometimes how you get mergings of multiple stations. And so that is kind of like what we have now, is like all of this merging of all, because we're all different frequencies, and all this merging of all this frequency that is going on, and how we look at things. And sometimes we're all coming into alignment, and then everybody's scattering around and coming into alignment. And so we are, we have all of this. It feels like it's like a storm created out of the chaos of all of our energies being all over the place. But it is, it's like, it's got to all be like tuned in, kind of. And that is, I think that is like how, with our healing, how we tune into, and it's not like you can do it wrong or different. It's already set in you. It's like the map was drawn in you before you ever came. It was already written. It was written in the stars how it was going to play out. So so all these people have this sky stuff. And for a while, people were saying that there was these dark beings that were going to come out of the sky, and you had to hide in your house. There was fire coming out, and you had to hide because they would get you. So in this kid's dream, is in the garage, and something happens with the sky. And he told you different dreams, so I might get him mixed up, because there was like a sunset, and he said the second the sunset, which was weird how he said it, because then it almost sounded like he said the second sun then set. But he was saying, so the second the sun set, everything went down. And so on, I think it was the first one, it was the sun all of a sudden turned into a man. So the sun was doing these weird flashes, and all of a sudden it became a man. And he started moving towards us. And people are coming outside. And on one of the dreams too, there was a lot of noise and color changes. But on the one, he said that the sun disappears, and then all these portals open. So the sky is full of these portals, and when you look through the portals, they're different colors and stuff. And then all these light beings started coming down. There was tons of light beings coming, and they were coming up to people. And then when they would go up to people, the people would disappear. And he said that a light being came up to them, and they all disappeared. And then he was watching the earth from out far, and he said it was so much explosions and blowing up and stuff. I don't think that is what is going to go down, though. is the whole earth blowing up like that. But see, we would be taken, and that is the thing, is that people have to, don't be scared of things that you don't know of. Like, I mean, there's certain things, like, this is coming from the person who's still is trying to drag her in the forest, and I'm looking down there like, no, no, I just can't do it. I just feel a sense of, it's way too eerie in there right now. Like, it's way too eerie. And the and even on this one part, because before, when we could go walk and it was back down on the other side, I don't know, it didn't seem so eerie. When you get down to the end and you come out at this other end, there's this whole section that's really eerie. And there's a lot of parts of it. The whole fucking thing is eerie, walking back in that forest in there, especially in the Pacific Northwest. Like, there is shit in there. I mean, there's a lot of forests. There's a lot of places for things to hide. Just like how there's shit showing up in the oceans now. The same thing with the forest. So I'm like, oh, dang, I don't know. I'm just like, just stay here safe in my little house. But if a light being came all of a sudden down, I wouldn't be scared, and I wouldn't think like, oh, I could run and hide and you wouldn't know where I was. No, I can see, like, I can see, and they would be sent down here. You would think of it more of like an angelic force to come down and take people away from danger and to save mass amounts of people, kind of thing. So, I wouldn't be scared. But people get so stuck on all this angels and devils are tricking you, and it's so weird. Because there's so much to it, and it's so much like with this guy with his attitude. Like, oh, well, Jesus is the one who's here to forgive you, not me. And don't think that you can ever come around me because I'm not, I don't remember the things the 3 examples that he gave, but I was just like, oh my God, dude, you got to take responsibility for your own soul and how you look at things. In a, like, I don't know, you don't seem to have a very, like, you know who Jesus is, but you don't have very much awareness of your own soul. So, I don't know about, but you have to, like, you're responsible for your own soul. Man, like, having an attitude like that you are going to hold on to resentment and anger and bitterness and all that, that's not a move forward. That's like, go back to the start. Go start again. Try again. You haven't caught on yet. You've got to start over. And so the troubles you have are to challenge you to get over it. It's not so the troubles are poor you, and God doesn't like you enough, and you are all, it's just so weird how people look at things. And all I can think of it is like, if you look at it from a spiritual perspective of what you're doing here, why you're here, what's this all about, what does it all mean, what is the purpose, then, you'll see things different. But I don't know, if you're not at the ability to see a purpose behind forgiveness, then yeah, I would say you've got more lessons to learn. Like, in the places you learn lessons is going through these life experiences. It's like, it's kind of like a teacher saying, do a book report, and you get up there and you start not giving information, and she says, well, you need to go read some more books. You obviously don't know what the hell you're talking about, kid. That's what's is yeah. And you got to think about life, where we think about reincarnation and stuff. Hold on, something's in my throat. That is, when you think about reincarnation, it isn't, you just, I think people think of it three-dimensionally. See these weird things. They think about it in a 3-dimensional way rather than think of it in a broader perspective of a soul, of things not really being there that you think are there. And so the three-dimensional, wait a second, because I got to see what I was seeing. Three-dimensional soul feeling. Oh, yeah. So when you look at life like that, then, because you can look at it more of like reincarnation is like a library of stories. And it's all your stories. It's all the ways that you approach things or react or do things. And and that's the thing too, is like the cause and effect. Because even when you do things as a soul, there's always a reason. That's why in this healing time, you can always go back to a reason why you are the way you are, why you do the things you do. There's reasons. Just like that yesterday or a couple days ago, my one neighbor, and they had both been gone for a while. I never finished that one story when I'd come home, and then my neighbor called me down there. He was at the end of my driveway, and I'd come in the house, and I had all my little walking outfit. I put a snowsuit over my clothes. So I was sitting on the couch, and I hadn't taken my shoes off yet. So I just pulled the top pants down, but I hadn't taken off my shoes. So they were just kind of there with my shoes and stuff. And then I hear Stella barking like crazy. So I ignore it for a second. And then I stand up and I look, and I see the neighbors at the end of the driveway trying to get my attention. And then he looks down at his phone like he's going to text me. So I'm trying to get those pants and shoes off to be able to go down there. But anyways, it was really nice. When I got down there, he had been in Panama. And of course, I'm like, I think it was Panama. Yeah, because he gave me one little thing that says Panama. A little refrigerator magnet and this scarf that was made by, llama fur or something, super, super soft. And so he brought me these little gifts he wanted to give me, but just because I moved their trash can back a few times, like while they were gone, trying to watch out for their house. And I wasn't the only one though, but the what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, because I was asking him about his mission, because he was on a mission for he's a, what are those ones called, the water Coast Guard. And so he said they were out catching illegal fishermen and something else. And so he was on the coast. So because I had said, well, were you out there for those creatures? He's like, what creatures? I don't know, it's so funny because some of the things I say to people, I just know they think it's so weird, but it's because they just don't know all the stuff yet. So I'm like, those creatures that are out there in Peru or something, they are in the jungle and they keep coming out and eating people and stuff. And he goes, no, I didn't even know about that. Because we weren't by the jungle, we were on the water. And but they caught some illegal, I don't know, whatever they went to do, they accomplished it. And but anyways, I just wanted to talk about the aliens and creatures and stuff. And but he didn't know anything about those. He didn't hear anything about them or anything, because there is supposed to be all this going on in like Peru, where these beings keep coming out of the jungle and eating people. So there's all sorts of different things now, with so many stories, people getting on their Ring cameras and all sorts of stuff. And then it's like, but you can't tell of what things are being CGI created just to put it out to get people talking. But the thing is that that stuff is real. Skinwalkers. What is another thing I keep hearing them called? There's all sorts of different names of all these different kind of creatures and stuff. That's all real. It really is, all these creatures. And that it really is in this tuning the radio stuff, where our realities are kind of knocking into other ones, like they're becoming like in a combination. And that is like where, to me, you have to have your mind open. I don't think you can be aware of the frequency if your mind's not open, if you're not seeing. Because just like that guy, if he was more tuned in, he would feel it in his soul that he was going in the wrong direction. He would feel like, ugh, I need to forgive them. I need to get over this. I need to quit holding on to this pain and suffering. And then I'm sure probably has some weight issue, but he probably just thinks of it as being because of the beers he drinks at night. And the beers he drinks at night takes away the aggravation and pain of not dealing with things. So it just buffers it so he doesn't have to feel it so strong. But then that adds on to the weight of him holding on to anger and resentment. And then he goes to the doctor to talk about his blood pressure because now he's getting, his blood pressure's going up because his body's trying to tell him you're holding on to some shit. And he is going to the doctor, and the doctor is telling him, oh, we have this. You need to take this at least once a day. Check your blood pressure. Do this, do that. And and blood pressure medicine, I swear, because my mom was on it, and I think, I don't know, some of those medicines are, it's like they're all a bunch of fucking Valium. Just to get people to just not think, just to relax. So I don't know, there's something weird with it all, like when it gets all broken down. But so then you don't deal with the stuff more. So you just keep having more issues. And the more issues you go, the more they just are like, well, you're aging. You're just aging. And that is what that podcast those women were talking about with the joint pain. And they were saying it all has to do with menopause. And all these women have joint pain because of menopause. Which I don't take anything for menopause, and I had to have a hysterectomy. Well, I didn't have to. I fell into their fucking bullshit trap, and but it was supposed to go that way. It was always supposed to go that way. That's when I got a brain injury. It changed my life, and it's weird too. There's so many times I can feel like if I lay on my side and then I roll on my back, it will go into this like spasm, and it always draws my attention to there's an organ missing there, and something's missing. So everything, like there's a dead space, which I guess I had just seen if like you get a surgery for your dog, they're more likely to get bloat because of that, just like what I was talking about, like it just fills in that space. And so the it's up to me, everything is about going natural. Now I've seen these videos like, oh well, if you want to get rid of cysts and fibroids and all that stuff, do this and do that. Like, but that wasn't in my it wasn't in my like bandwidth or something. It wasn't in my information at the time, because that wasn't supposed to go in that direction. So I was supposed to have this other stuff happen. But now, I have learned more about this, and menopause isn't just a set thing. I think that is a lot with programming. And it's also, the same thing with the doctors. Women go to the doctors for all these different things, and they're, oh, it's menopause, oh, it's menopause. Which there's natural things that you can take to alleviate a lot of those symptoms, but it's figuring out what your body needs. And so the symptoms. Oh yeah, because then when they just have people go, and then they just keep blaming everything. Oh, it's menopause, it's premenopause. Women get that shit from the time they're like 35. Oh, you're in premenopause, and so everything, like your food's jacking up your hormones, all this stuff's jacking up your hormones. You go to the doctor. Oh well, you're premenopause. Okay, so we're not going to talk about all the hormone blockers and all the additives and shit in food. We'll just pretend like none of that. That's not affecting me for sure. It's just me. It's me. I'm in premenopause. So we buy into their bullshit. And then they'll even put you on, if you're willing to take something, them God, blah, I've got a list here. So but the idea is to not take that, to go and listen more. But you can go natural, like that yam cream. There's also, there's some other supplements and stuff that you can take that help. But still, then you're trying to, I don't know. I just didn't take those. Like, I tried some different ones, and it was like, no, this isn't for me. And so I just don't take anything. I don't get hot flashes. I don't get none of the stuff that they say is menopause. I don't think. And there was like a period of time where I felt like my temperature wasn't regulating, and but I think like you find a balance again. So I don't know. I mean, they've cut so many parts out of me. That's why I'm like, man, get in the real med beds, not all these healing beds that are coming up, but the real med beds where you grow your parts back and stuff. That's what get back into balance, homeostasis inside of ourselves. And but the hormones and all of their stuff of getting people to be is a surrender. So many people like surrender their health, and they surrender their weight. And every time, whenever I look at it, it just sees like so much about their attitudes and them blocking themselves. Like, there's so much you can do by facing things, facing your pain and trauma, not thinking something's wrong with you because you have pain or you feel bad or something's bothered you. There's nothing wrong with that. It is, you got to get to like allowing yourself to process it. It's like giving yourself permission to have issues, and then deal with your issues, take them seriously. I saw it, and this is going to be a lot more of this too. This girl is taking out her extensions. I didn't even see the video. Like, she may have shown her hair in the thing, but she took out her extensions. Because there's all these people, like my daughter just took off her lashes. When you take them off, you have no lashes. You take off your nails are jacked. You take off your extensions, your hair's jacked. You take off your makeup, your face, your skin is jacked. So you have to go through that process of healing what you've done, the damage to. And so, it's a hard time, and there's going to be a lot more people doing it. And right now, like, there's a lot of people and everybody's giving each other kind of support. So when you go on and you start talking about what you're going through, and so many of these girls are just damaging the shit out of their hair with color. I can't even believe some of these videos. Oh my gosh. And people just do not look at their hair as like an extension of their central nervous. They don't look at their hair as like anything, like it has any purpose or anything. And it's like I just think of it's like your antenna. You're picking up on so much stuff. Like, you can hear things. Like, I don't even know. I feel like when I was all jacking with my hair all the time and cutting it and coloring it and permanent and all that stuff, like, I could pull up some pictures, some wacky pictures of me throughout time, trying this hairstyle, trying that hairstyle. Surely I'll like myself in this one. And then, and always feeling dissatisfied, and it always showing in my face, just this disgust with myself. And the hair, just any of those things, because like makeup, like, I did that when I was like 15, and then I got off of the makeup, and I had to go through all of this stuff with my skin, and it was in high school. My skin was, oh my gosh. And my skin was really bad, but I was determined. I was not going to put stuff on my face and cover it up. I was going to let my skin heal. And it took a while, long while, like for sure a year. And then maybe 2 years, I don't know, it took a while. And my, and at the time I just thought, well, my skin's so bad. But back then it was all this Maybelline foundation, you packed it on. And I had this friend who was really into makeup, and she, my face would break out. Oh, just put on that. And her face would break out. But she just constantly had on more and more makeup. Well, I couldn't do that. And so I just went through the letting my face break out, not wearing makeup. And then the nails, I did those for a while back when I finished being a nurse, and I wore nails for a while when I had my shop and stuff. And then once I took those off, is I had done it 2 different times. And the second time I was like, never am I going to do that again. It just wrecks your nails so bad. And then I did lashes for a short time, and all your lashes fall out. And then, yeah, when you damage your hair, it takes a long time to get it to grow and get all the dead stuff off. So all of those things that we do damage to takes a while to get back to it being okay. It takes a long time for your fingernails to get back to to even having any kind of substance to them. At first, they're like paper, and there's no protection on the top of your finger. It's like really horrible. And then like your eyelashes also, they're there for a purpose. It's to protect so things don't go in your eyes. So then you have no lashes, no protection on your eyes. And then your hair also has a purpose, and the coating that goes on it is a waxy coating, and it's not oily. And I think about this all the time about, like, our hair is supposed to have a waxy, like, it naturally puts a waxy coating, and we are supposed to have our hair that is coated, and like there's a purpose to that. And I can't handle it just being like, I mean, I swear to God, our wax will just start dripping off of it. I'm not saying like we need to go around, everybody's supposed to have dirty hair, but I think that there's a purpose to that wax. I think that we're supposed to make sure that our hair is coated. Like, if your hair is super, super dried out, and that is one thing too, like if you go to the doctor and start saying stuff about your hair, a lot of women's hair gets all jacked up at a certain time, and they blame it on hormones. And so they'll tell women, well, it's your hormones, it's menopause, this happens to your hair. Okay, well, explain this then. And so it is, it's a different way you gotta approach it. So don't just sit there and think, oh, well, it's your hormones. Think of it as more, it's your lifestyle, how you take care of yourself. And your hair is showing you, well, some people, because it's so common in our society that women color their hair, so then they aren't really communicating with their hair other than, oh, it's time for me to color my hair. So they're not really picking up on what their hair is telling them. They're just trying to fight their hair so that they can look younger or like their hair color better or whatever the case may be. But so you have these women now who are taking their extensions off because their hair is so damaged. And so another thing I think damages the shit out of hair, and I don't know why they went from wearing afros to such tight braids. Like, and then you have all these women who have so much bald in your hair. Fucking ponytails. Tight ponytails pulls your hair out. Tight braids pulls your hair out. Like, you're doing all this tight shit to your hair. There's women who start losing their hair from wearing ponytails or wearing their hair up all the time. Your hair will start falling out. So you can't just, you have to do different things. And do these massages like I've talked about. Get blood flow in your head. Massage your scalp. And there's all sorts of topical oils. There's clove water, rosemary water. There's a lot of stuff you can use on your hair that will go in and because you've been damaging your follicles and stuff. You've damaged not just your hair, but what your hair grows out of, like the pot the hair grows out of. You've created damage there. So you really got to me, it's like, start loving your hair, start looking at it like, a sick friend, start trying to take care of it in all the different ways that you can. And yeah, you're going to go through a period of time where you're going to feel like you're bald, your hair looks horrible. And then in the comments, all these women were telling her, well, just get wigs and stuff like that. See, it's just hide, hide, hide. Just this constant hiding. It's okay to go out in the world and show, that you are changing. This metamorphosis is happening. You're going from fake to real. And so you don't have to hide. And in the one woman who was doing her hair that was going gray, she had so much out. She had like this much gray out, and her hair was pretty short. It's not like her hair's long. So she had so much gray that she did not like it, and she started coloring her hair again. And so it's just masking. And then because what her hair is showing her is that she has a copper deficiency. And all these people, they all think that they're aging, and their whatever their relationship to aging is, but aging isn't even real, and it's just made up umbrella to say what our symptoms are being caused from, when that isn't the cause. The root cause is this poisoning us, then this too many things living off of us, and then there's no nutrition in our food or in the water. And there's more and more, where people are being like, because all the outrage on the fake chicken and fake meat and all that stuff, it's like there's not enough meat out there to feed everybody. There's not enough cows and chickens. And everybody keeps thinking that they're eating that, but it really does put in a moral question to me of like, why do we feel like we need to kill something in order to get food? Like, is really huge. Like, listen in the conversations, like people want real food and stuff. I was like, well, I think what we want is real nutrition. Like, we don't want to eat bugs and fake food. But I don't think that they have, in our real food, there wasn't much nutrition. Like, go get eggs and break those and see them compared to an egg that comes right from a chicken. The difference in how they look. And so many people are doing all these fruit videos with all these fake fruits. Like, everybody's like, there's fake fruit that people are getting. Watermelons, bananas, avocados. I've shared a bunch of those kinds of videos. More stuff falling apart about the fast food restaurants and all that. And it will go into the food distributors and all that. Like that, all that stuff has to fall apart. That's where people are going to start seeing. I saw a video of a place where they do sugar. And it's like this big giant warehouse with just piles of sugar, like what you think of like sand or rocks or any of those big piles like that. So it was all this sugar, and they're going in it with trucks and stuff, and then taking it and scooping it, and that's what goes in our things. Just, and I had heard this when I was a kid. I think this was one of the things that turned me off of cereal, even though I have eaten cereal a few times as an adult. But the how much bug parts and rat turds bug parts and rat turds are allowed. Like, the FDA allows a certain amount in the food because they have no choice. There's so much of it. There would be no food if they didn't allow us a certain amount. And then and now you have to read on your ingredients because they're just putting this cricket stuff in, and I can't even remember. It's called something, like in the ingredients, if it says something like that it has, I don't, cicadas keeps coming to my mind. It seems like it's a word kind of like that. Like CEE, I don't know, it's some weird word. You can look it up. But if it says that in your ingredients, then that means it's got crickets in it. So they're already putting all these crickets, which we already were eating bugs to begin with. And I don't know, just all this stuff. Because to me, it's still like eating vegetables and stuff. But even for the past few days, everything is really weird. It tastes weird. The textures are weird. It is weird. There is some weird stuff happening again, because it was like I already went through this before, and so now it is again. I don't know. It just is these shifts or something. But there's gonna definitely be big shifts over how we eat, and it really does make me think. Like when you hear these people getting so mad that they're not eating real chickens and real cows and pigs and shit. It's like there's not enough real chickens and cows and pigs to go around. You need to grow them at your own house if you want to eat them. Take them down and get slaughtered yourself. And and that's why they want to keep people in apartments and shit, because people also can't. Where are you going to keep your cow? You can find farms and stuff that will. Like you can purchase a cow. Because I know of people who have done it. I think you just have to look around. But, and you don't have to have it at your house. You just have to feed it and stuff. And then once it goes to slaughter, you have to pay for all that. And then you get all the meat. And I guess the good part is that you don't form any relationship with the animal. But anyways, it just has me thinking like that. When I keep hearing the people talking, I keep feeling like, well, not like I want to be in support of Gator and, you know, this fake food and printing out 3D food and stuff like that. But it's the, you know, I don't know. There's just something weird. There's something weird about it. And so that's why I think there's going to be bigger shifts in it. We're not going to just go into killing all these animals, especially because there's so much going on with the killing the animals right now. So much of us just disposing of cats and dogs, and there's just so much of just who cares. And then the food, because it's like a part of humanity. It's like a disconnect. It's like you're here for me. You're here so I can eat you or something. And I don't know, because there's a part of where we start being more of not so predatory, kind of, where there's this peace on earth isn't like, but we're still hunters and gatherers. No, there's a shift out of that. And I feel like all this stuff, as things are being talked about, is how the shift keeps going. And it isn't like I'm trying to choose sides or something. It's more internal. Like you hear this stuff being said, and it's like, yeah, but I mean, we can't just keep killing the animals like this. We can't just raise animals to just be food, unless you want to do that for yourself. But we can't just have corporations doing it for us. Like, of course the corporations are going to start cutting costs and feeding us fake shit. And, but there's, I don't know, there's so much gray, you know? We want to get in this black and white. This is the way. And it's like, but it's all in the gray. But in that gray, I think that we're definitely going to make shifts where I don't know. I just think that the whole thing with food is going to change. But if we go more into light beings too, and that we won't have that same kind of thing. Like there's light beings, they don't eat. Like you don't have to eat. In eating is also like, it's more. What we've created around eating is not just like, you know, we don't just go into a room and just take what we need and go. No, we have a whole fucking spectacle around eating. We have a whole, what is that called? Like a whole ceremony. We have an eating ceremony. And so, but in spiritual stuff, like all animals deserve to live. And then even when we think about predatory animals, I mean, we're predators, like, because we're killing other things and eating them. And not as personally, but we're going to the market, and then depending on other people to do it for us just creates more waste. And so it's very dysfunctional, like how we do things. And there's got to be so many shifts, but all the shifts come not from the control outside of us, but from the control inside of us. It's us making these shifts. It's us looking at things different. And it's not just like that we can be forced into it, like the world blows up and then we're just forced into being this certain way. No, it's like we've got to learn. That's why I said you can't tell somebody, well, you got to do this. Just go buy a bunch of crystals and be vegan and then you're spiritual. That's not true at all. There's so many people who think they're so spiritual. It's like, what are you doing that's spiritual? Like, how do you look at life in a spiritual way? Like, there's a different way of looking at things when you're spiritual. You look at it through your spirit, through deeper meaning, through more purpose. Like, what is your soul doing here? Why would your soul be doing that? Why, you know? And there's people that are just disconnected from all that. But this is this, in this process, it is this disconnect from this one world and connecting into a different world. And this other world isn't established yet. It is, and you can't be a part of the establishment of it until you reach a certain point. So, and that's a weird thing too. These people like, you know, just, oh, I'm going from 3D to 5D. Well, you got to grow into an expansion. You don't just jump. You don't just, oh, I think this way, now I think this way. No, your thought, your way you think and changes through the development, through the steps, through what you go through. That's why you got all these spiritual people who are just disconnected. Like, they're just lost. And there's like confusion and stuff in that community because you're not living through your spirit. You're just living three-dimensionally. You're trying to tell people how to manifest and get money and live in this three-dimensional world and be happy. And but it's different than that. Like all these different changes that are happening. And so it's each person, though, having to go through the thing, whatever, because it's all different things for all different people. Like the one guy, he needs to go through his healing and resentment and stuff. Like you did a whole video of that. So you're holding on to something. You're holding on to some anger. You got to let that stuff go. The whole thing with food, you know, especially after all this shift and happening and stuff, I personally would just start trying to think of food in a different way and think of different ways to cook different things and just make some changes in your diet. Like I wouldn't be going out and trying to eat some, like even some of the stuff that I get Stella, like some of the chicken and stuff, and I'll cook it and I'll think, this is so weird, it's fake, I don't even know what the hell this animal is. And it will have smells and stuff like, ugh. But she still wants to keep eating it. She gets very excited when I get her meat, but I don't want any. Like that just grosses me out. That so I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be getting to that point where some of the stuff is just grossing people out, so that they stop and think about it. Because there's so many people like, oh my God, fuck, the fast food videos. Jesus. I even saw this one guy, and he is exercise guy. He's lost, I don't know, couple 100 pounds or so. I don't fucking know. There's different stories. But so he's some fucking guy who exercises and he's all like, and had some weight loss thing. But so his is just going to fast food and telling you what to order and then telling you how much protein and all that stuff in it. It's like, oh my gosh. Oh goodness. You can, yeah. There's so many things that you can make at home. I don't know. It's just like there's part of this healing, like, okay, you're doing this healing, taking care of yourself on one part, but then you got this other part, you're going to fast food restaurants and eating that garbage and then telling people, like, I don't know. You'd have to just watch it and figure it for yourself. But there's like just so much of this weird stuff happening. And all these people getting so outraged over fast food restaurants and being like, well, I'm going to send a bad review and do better and all that stuff. It's like, you guys, this is a corporation that you are having feed you. And one thing too, who was that I had just seen saying about, because it was somebody who was talking sensible, and they were talking about not only all these people being overweight and stuff and going out and eating this garbage, but then all of them talking about how broke they are. And he's showing like the prices and stuff. And I do see these people. They're like, I spent $28 on this pizza. No, not on this pizza, on this sandwich. $28 on this sandwich, and look what I got. So many people spending so much money to go out and have somebody else make your food. It's got bugs in it. People are getting salads that is all full of bugs. It's got worms. It's got, oh my God. The amount of videos like of gross ass stuff in this food. And the people just want to keep going no matter, how broke they get. It's like a disconnect. It's like the same thing when my mom kept telling me, like, stop drinking Sweet and Low. It's really bad for you. And I'd be like, give me some more. And, it was so cheap too. And I have no idea why, what I was thinking, but I can definitely see why, it was like, well, she doesn't listen well, does she? Let's just give her a brain injury. No, it's not like that's how they sit and think. That's not how it goes. But everything is going to happen the way it's going to happen. Like when you're not paying attention, it's going to keep getting worse. That's for sure. Everything that the universe is trying to get you to listen to or think about or something, they're going to keep pushing for you to listen to or take you in a certain direction. And I just saw this guy who was talking about, because I think a lot of people are getting more motivated to do more videos talking about their journey or whatever. And this one person was just like, my guys have been bugging me for 4 years to do this. And that's the same thing that happened to me. And even when I was going to start back in, I think it was 2017 or 2018, I was going to start. I started making some videos, and I was just like, oh, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle seeing myself. I couldn't handle hearing my own voice. I kept thinking I didn't have, didn't feel secure in my knowledge. It just was like, oh, man, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then I was like, okay, I'll just write it. I'll write it all in a book. And then it was when it was like so much pressure, keep telling me to do it, to speak or whatever. And then that one morning, and the lights came on in my room, and I was like, oh my God, the harassment, you guys. So anyways, that's why it's like you'll feel forced to do some things. That's what it felt like at first. Felt very forced. But anyways, it's been good for me. It's helped me like through all of this stuff. Um, let me think. I don't know if I have. I think I have made my point over some of this stuff though. Like everything is about our own attitudes and how we have to change our attitudes and not getting so stuck. It's holding on to things, like I've said, is going to be the part that hurts. And like holding on to this idea, like, oh, well, we have to eat chickens, we have to eat cows when they taste good. I mean, we have to eat them. That's what they tell us, that we have to. It's like there's just a lot of shifts that have to happen. And and um and if there is a bunch of light beings that start coming out of the sky, don't be scared. I would say don't be scared if because there is stuff like in the Allison Coe videos, like if you go back and watch the old ones, there was a lot about ships coming, and there's all sorts of people showing these motherships and stuff up in the sky, and they're like, it's kind of like their mask, kind of like where, like you have clothes hanging up, then they can hang out in the clothes. I had some clothes hanging up down there, and you keep seeing them, like they can peek out, like they can blend in and peek out. It's like camouflage. It's like things can be used as camouflage for beings to be able to hide out. And what was I going to say about that? I don't know. I don't know. I've been talking long enough, I guess. But anyways, if you get my drift, everything is about changing your attitude, how you look at things, and oh yeah, the light. Oh yeah, because in her video she was saying about all these ships were going to be taking people away that wouldn't be able to handle the vibration of the solar flash, which that kid could still be seeing about the solar flash, which I don't think that the solar flash happens first. That's the thing that gets me, is I still think the solar flash happens after the awakening. I think that this awakening thing has to happen first. And we have so many things that are up in the air, but I don't know, maybe all those things were part of the awakening to lead us into this other thing. And maybe all the people are awake enough to do the solar flash now. And then that is what changes everything. But on the solar flash thing, there's so many people who leave. I think it's more of we have this time to heal and raise our vibration to get us to a certain point. And then that is when the solar flash comes in, and then they take the people on the ships that can't handle the vibration of the solar flash whenever the stuff goes, because it is like it seems like it's like some like big bang thing again, like it's an energetic expansion. And I don't know, I mean, I don't know, because there's a thing about death, but death occurs when you believe it is real. Like I think that is a part of how we shift into not dying, is that we realize that we can't be killed, that we're energy, and energy just shifts forms and changes, but they can't stop it. So I don't know, we'll see how this stuff keeps going. But in the process, I still say keep working on your healing, and keep working on trying to see the unseen, what you're not paying attention to. When there's something, try and look at the other side of it. So many people don't look at the other side of things. They just look at the surface. Try and think of what's the other side, what's the bad side, what's the dark side of this, because everything has a dark side. And it's only when you just keep looking at the surface, but that's this artificial world, and you can just see it in people. People are just so surface level. Just go deeper and use your time wisely in your healing in this period of time. Because I don't know how it's all going to go down. It's not like you can do it wrong. It's not like you can do anything wrong, but still, I would definitely, use my time towards trying to honor yourself and become your best version of yourself, loving yourself. If your hair is falling out, don't try and mask it and stuff. Go out, and that is where you humble yourself. Like, yeah, fuck, I thought having fake hair was a good thing, and it destroyed my real hair. Now I'm trying to grow my real hair back and love myself. Like, all the things. Like, there's lots of drug addicts who are having to get teeth put in, which, I don't know, there's lots of fucking shenanigans about the fucking teeth stuff too. Man, this root cause documentary coming out, which I'm sure that also creates the inflammation process too. Because I have root canals, they ripped out my wisdom teeth, all of that underlying low grade infection that we all have, and that grows parasites and stuff. And a lot of people, their tooth infections go into their brain. So, they want us to have fucking jacked up teeth because they want us to be fucking just dependent on them. They want total control over us. And when you reach a certain stage of dependency, then they just take you over. They'll just use you, cut you up and parts and shit. So, I don't know. There was just like a lot to this whole thing. So, just remember through all of this shit, you got to remember to love yourself. Fucking just do it. And I love everyone. Just do it. Just work on it. And this whole thing is like you choosing. You choose the day you're going to have. You look at it the way you're going to look at it. Choose to have a loving day. So love yourself, love everyone, and have a loving day. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.